Hello. Hi everybody. This is Jack. Um uh so I have a couple projects in production right now. Um like a couple of short films, and it I've sort of lost my way as to the roots of this channel. So I decided to delve more into film criticism. Um when I was when we first started this YouTube channel as uh, cinema conversation, it was more along the lines of like um, cracked after hours or something like that. And it was supposed to be like a fun sort of, film analysis. And I always wanted it to seem like what two people who work in a video store would talk about in their off time, or what two people who are really obsessed with movies would talk about in the car. And we've further strayed from that in the sense of short films, but I've wanted to do movie reviews on this channel for a long time, and I actually did back in October. Um, with I reviewed the entire Halloween series and ranked them on October 31st. So yeah, I wanted to sort of get back into that and talk about some new movies that I've seen, review some old ones, review some new ones. I've been inspired, like, older film critics like Siskel and Ebert, and newer ones like I don't know, Chris Stuckman. But yeah, I wanted to make an honest film review and analysis, and I think this could be pretty fun to give my thoughts. I run my own movie review block in our school newspaper where I give my thoughts on certain movies. So yeah, I think this could be fun. This episode in particular is not scripted. I'm going to review several different movies instead of one, just movies that I've either just seen or rewatched in the past couple months or so. So yeah, I didn't take any notes. I just watched the movie and I'm gonna tell you how I liked it. I'll probably start to watch movies and, maybe take a little bit of notes for this show. I know it's a bit of change of scenery. I've always wanted to do movie reviews in my director's chair in front of movie posters. So that's what I'm doing. And yeah, so I was able, in between all my schoolwork and making short films, watch every Halloween movie, take notes, and film and edit reviews on them for about a month. So yeah, just give me a break for not scripting this one. So what movies did I have in mind? I'm glad you asked. I'm going to review Willys Wonderland, which I watched on Amazon Prime a couple months ago, and I really enjoyed. It's the new Nicolas Cage movie. I'm going to review Raya and the Last Dragon. I believe it's either made by Disney or Pixar. I think it's Disney, though. I'm going to review the new Tom and Jerry movie, and since I'm filming this the Saturday before Easter, I'm going to review a movie I watched yesterday, Hop. So yeah, let's just get into it. Starting, can you all hear me? Yeah, seems fine. But anyway, don't you worry, me and my dad are still working on a couple short films that should be coming out pretty soon. It's just sort of a hassle to get people to act in them. So if any of you who I know in private life would like to act in a short film, I would be happy to let you. So yeah, let's start off with the first one, Willys Wonderland. This is a movie, some backstory. Our town had a bit of an ice storm in February, right around Valentine's Day and my birthday. So the ice was about an inch thick and it snowed on top of that. It was very slick. We could barely get out of our house. I got off school for a week. So yeah, in all that time, what did I do but watch movies? And I was actually kind of blindsided because I watch shows like, what is it? He's the guy that does all the movie news, and he had been hyping up this movie for a while. I can't remember his name right now. But yeah, he had been talking about this movie for a long time, and I thought we'd have to wait till theaters opened back up to watch it. And no, right before it came out, I thought, I didn't know that it was opening, so I decided to watch it because I was really excited for this movie. And I was decently surprised. I really, really enjoyed this movie. For a lot of reasons. It has been sort of picked on, if you will, for certain issues that I actually find as pros, or at least not exactly cons. So let's get into it. The big ticket of this movie is Nicolas Cage fighting animatronics. So let's start with Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage, we do not know much about him. He wears the sunglasses, leather jacket, drives I believe it's a Chevy. Seems as if all he cares about is his car and looking cool. But driving down this country road, he gets caught on a spike strip. Spoilers, by the way. I'm not going to give spoiler disclaimers every video. Just take it as a given. And he drives his car and he hits a spike strip. And then, no sooner than when that happens, a mechanic drives down the road and is able to take it to the auto shop. And you can tell this is just a bit too convenient. So he says Nicolas Cage does not have any cash. So he just decides, the mechanic, that he can work overnight at Willys Wonderland, an abandoned family amusement center that is home to animatronics. That's sort of where the plot starts. He spends all night cleaning this place, but then he realizes that the place is haunted by animatronics holding the souls of serial killers. And meanwhile, these group of kids, are hoping to burn this place down for its evil origins. That's the basic plot summary, and we find out later in the film that this place was made by a guy named Jerry Ray Willis, something like that. And it was meant to be a breeding ground for serial killers who wanted to kidnap and murder children. Not a great start. But, and then when the cops thought it would be a good time to, maybe go over there, see what's going on, a SWAT team, of all things, is sent there, and the owners and the staff had done a satanic suicide ritual to embody their souls into their animatronic counterparts. So Nicolas Cage must survive the night, cleaning up an abandoned place, cleaning up an abandoned family fun center, beating up animatronics, playing pinball, and drinking soda until the morning. I really enjoyed this one. From my plot summary, you might think it's a dumb horror film, and it is. And for the most part, I don't really think it was trying to be anything more than that. And in some cases, it was actually better than what it thought its preconceived notions were. Nicolas Cage is great. My only problem is that part of Nicolas Cage's charm is his line delivery, and he does not have any lines in this movie. His name is literally the janitor. So he doesn't talk in this movie, but Nicolas Cage, I think, is a greater actor than we give him credit for. He's known for movies like Face Off, Con Air, Wicker Man, Weatherman, those type of movies. And I think he kind of gets a bad rap because if you watch movies like Adaptation, National Treasure, Bringing Out the Dead, and this movie, you see that he does have genuine acting talent. He just doesn't know how to pick his roles. But here, he does some fantastic, surprisingly enough, like face acting and body acting. Even if he's not saying anything, you can still tell what he is thinking. And that even when he wears sunglasses, you can tell everything that he's thinking. And I love that sort of performance where even if you can't hear them talk, you know how they feel and even what they might want to say. Let's start with the second biggest part of this movie, the animatronics. The animatronics are actually better than people give them credit for, in my opinion. They're not like the Banana Splits movie, where they are obviously just a guy in a suit and they're acting like robots. These things genuinely look like robots that you'd see at, I don't know, Chuck E. Cheese or something like that. They look genuinely like that. Their movements aren't too extreme. They've sort of got the robot, thing going on. My only real gripe with the animatronics is just that there's too damn many of them. I mean, if you go to like Chuck E. Cheese or even like Disney World, if there's this one singular place that just where kids eat and have a birthday party, they're not gonna have, I don't know, I think there was like 7, maybe 8 of them. I mean, Chuck E. Cheese maybe has 4 or 5. And this movie is obviously inspired by Five Nights at Freddy's. And part of what made that game's magic trick work is that even if some of the things were outlandish, like child killers and haunted animatronics, it was grounded in realism to the point where you could feel that this could have been a real place without the sort of mythology and lore. A place you could go to on any street corner. But I just don't believe that they would have the money or the resources. The place was built in 1996 and the town, I'll be completely honest, looks a lot like my town. In the sense that there's like a lot of trailer parks and country roads, and I mean, not exactly, but this, little town, in probably the South, whose only claim to fame is having, they even put it on their welcome to sign that they have probably a mediocre pizza restaurant with, showbiz pizza ripoffs. I don't think they'd have the money for 7 or 8 robots when their cop cars don't even have lights on them. I mean, I know it's a private business, but think about this. In the flashback, when the SWAT team comes in, they're just driving like Ford pickup truck things. Like, they're not driving police cars with lights on them. I mean, what is going on? And, you know, where is this guy's money coming from that he can't donate for a safer police station? Well, I mean, he is a child murderer, but that's neither here nor there. Like, I don't buy that this restaurant would have like 7 or 8 animatronics. I know it's to pad runtime to have these sort of fights with these animatronics, but it's just one of my gripes with the movie. Another big thing with the movie, the third biggest thing, is the kids, the group of kids in the town. Through flashback sequences, we realize that the town is in on it, where they take unsuspecting people driving through their town, and they do a sort of bait and switch where they make them work at Willys as a sort of human sacrifice, so they wouldn't, so Willie and his gang would not attack the townspeople. And that plot line, and it turns out that the leader of this anarchist gang of kids who want to burn down Willys is actually the sheriff's daughter that she took in after her parents were murdered as part of said human sacrifice plot. I don't hate that plot line, honestly, because, you know, you can explain how the animatronics are real, but, like, why was there a spike strip in the middle of the road? How did a mechanic come so quickly? And these main people are the sheriff, played by the person you're going to spend the entire movie trying to remember where you saw them from. The Tex McAdoo, and the mechanic, and I can't remember his name right now. They're the typical Southern people, sheriff, sort of cowboy hat wearing, spitting, Southern accent having people, and they're fine. I don't really hate their performances. It's just, it seems a bit overdone. But those people don't have as big of impact as you might think. It's majorly just Nicolas Cage. What about the kids in this movie that I've been talking about? They're okay. I liked them. It's just they're not characters. One guy got stabbed with a giant sword. I mean, why does an animatronic have that? An animatronic named Nighty Night, because he's a knight. I didn't even remember that kid's name. I didn't remember any of these kids' name. I just remember what their role was in this group. I don't even remember the main kid's name, the kid that I actually liked. But I think people tend to overplay how useless they really were in the story, because slasher films like this don't need characters to be, these grand character building sort of movies. They're just sort of there to get killed. And I mean, I know movies like Scream or Halloween did this perfectly, but I mean, Halloween 2 had the same problem, where it's a hospital staff with like 6 people, and they don't really have any personality traits. They're just kind of there to get killed by Michael Myers. Excuse me. My iPhone ran out of storage at the time of filming, so I had to clear up some stuff. Let's keep talking. So yeah, Halloween 2 had the same problem, where it was a hospital staff with like 6 nurses or so, and they didn't have many personality traits other than getting killed by Michael Myers. But at the end of the day, that movie was never supposed to be about them. So I don't mind I don't mind having characters that are just there to get killed as much as other people. So yeah, 5 minute or like 6 minute segment, and my phone just crashed on me. So yeah, maybe that's impacting my way I review. But yeah, I really so the kids and the town didn't bother me. A couple more things I like about the animatronics. Their design, I really enjoy. The way they look is like this group of animals. I didn't so much like Siren Sarah because she just fell out of place, and also Nighty Night, as they're called. But the others look like a real animatronic you see at like Chuck E. Cheese or Disney World. And I really like the fight scenes in this. Like the fights between Nicolas Cage and the animatronics. I don't think there was a bad one in this movie. My favorite ones are like, what was it? The one with the gorilla in the bathroom, the one where like he kicks the jukebox and it starts playing that music and he fights them and he's in handcuffs. That one was really cool. The one at the beginning with the ostrich, that one was pretty good. And the last one with Willy, because I really enjoyed that because I really liked that you sort of had stakes. You were kind of scared you wasn't going to be able to beat him. I really enjoyed the ending to this movie, where they come in and they see that he's still alive and the place is clean, and Freebird is playing and he leaves. I really like the song Freebird and its use in movies such as Devil's Rejects, which I just saw, which I'll review soon, and Kingsman, which I just saw, which I'll review soon. And and so I think it was a good choice because he's free, he did what he needed to do, and now he can leave. And so what did I not like about this movie? Well, the film looks really cheap. What do I mean by that? It's low budget, and sometimes it really looks low budget. What I really commend a horror movie for is having a low budget and being able to still make a good movie out of that by using the resources that it has. I can really respect that, and I've done that myself. And I really like one location low budget movies because it sort of leaves it to the performances and the writing. But you can tell like this was filmed in some like tax-free southern city. You can tell that like the warehouse is just like an abandoned warehouse. This just has like a Willys Wonderland sign on top of it. You can tell like the part I really didn't like is the color correction in this movie. The nighttime scenes have good cinematography, that sort of blue, pale moonlight, but the day scenes is just like a weird brown, and I wasn't the big fan of that, because you can't tell when it's morning or when it's midday or when it's late in the day. So like when they go to see the next morning, it could be like midday and you wouldn't be able to tell. And I think it makes it feel really flat and really cheap, like a TV movie. I think it really could have milked the one night of terror sort of thing by having, a nice sunrise. Like you still can have the ending with him walking out with the leather jacket, playing Freebird. They see him and they're impressed that he survived. He gets his car back. But like, why does it have to look like it's 12 in the afternoon in Arizona? Like, why not like, a nice orange sunrise with like some shades of blue and sort of get that golden hour thing, like, like Texas Chainsaw. The last early morning chase is great because it's got that sort of southern gold Texas blue, but the sort of brown colors of this movie I did not enjoy. And the other things I didn't like about this movie were the fact that, like, it's very repetitive in the sense that Nicolas Cage will clean something up and then his watch will go off, he'll drink a grape soda, he'll play pinball, and then he'll get right back to work, probably to, have beat up another person. And I really like the idea of him being sort of compulsive and methodical in what he's doing, because he really takes it seriously. And, you know, at the beginning we see he has dog tags, so maybe he was in the army and he learned the importance of, like, punctuality and having a neat schedule. But, like, sometimes it gets a little too overboard for me, like the fact that he, like, leaves a kid to die. And, you know, that sort of thing. Like, he's getting ready to fight off this one animatronic, then his watch goes off, and then he just leaves. And he doesn't even care that he's leaving, like, this 13-year-old girl to die. And at that point, I didn't really like the movie. So you have heard the good, the bad, and the ugly of Willys Wonderland. So yeah, what do I rate this movie? I'm rating all these movies on a scale of 10, not out of 5 stars, just because, you know, with 5 stars, it's too broad. I mean, I get it, it's like an A through F sort of thing, but, like, you know, if a movie is like a 9 out of 10, do I go 100 or 80? You know, it sort of gives you a glass half full option, so I want to be a little bit more specific. For Willys Wonderland, I give it an 8 out of 10. It's sort of got that low budget, early 80s slasher movie that I've come to love in recent years, and it uses its characters as cool set pieces, and it's a really interesting idea, though not entirely original. It is the version of Five Nights at Freddy's I think we all wish we could play, where we just curb stomp these people. So yeah, I give it an 8 out of 10. I don't believe it's on Amazon Prime anymore, but when it comes to Amazon Prime again for $3.99, I definitely recommend you watch it. So, Willys Wonderland gets an 8 out of 10.